So what are the chances that the tape recorder in the room still works? Low, I imagine. Compact tape player is still on silent. Seems to have completely broken down now. The machine was made in Ravenshaw by a company called Le Messier. Their logo depicts a tripled lower Delta skyline that was supposedly built to last. There is no fixing this one. This would have been very helpful with the Mega Mix, but it isn't anymore. Any ideas? Like Anima only comes with a radio. Let's try to find a new tape player. Perhaps we should talk to Roy at the pawn shop. He has stuff. Alright. Then let us speak to Roy at the pawn shop. Oh, so the game just tells you to put points in things, but like... It seems that points are kinda hard to get. And they don't exactly... like, have very few things to spend them on. Like, it's all of your skills, of which there are many. It's the slots for your thoughts, which you have to spend one to get rid of one, which is fucked up. That's like using a level to de-level yourself. It's crazy.
Hello, hello.
Hold on. Shelf of boomboxes. The boomboxes on the shelf look well loved and well traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the unblinking eyes of the tape reels. Stand on your tippy toes. One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big ol' handle on top. Classic boombox. It says stereo 8 approved. This is you, golden orange, sunset sweet. Let's make sure it works before you buy it. Can I play a tape on one of the boomboxes real quick? Sorry man, I can't be giving out freebies. Never have, won't now. So this stereo 8 approved machine. Armin Walsh W02 made in Vesper, designed in CL. Plays all reel-to-reel formats, 2mm, 8mm, 12, it's even got a little radio in there. It'll set you back 12 real. Yeah, okay. And here you are. Quality sound reproduction on the go. It'll play anything. Wherever turn any tape into a conversation, sounds and shapes.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Boombox should play the tape, right? Yep, okay. I don't know what kind of horribleness it might have. So let's walk outside, where a random passerby can hear it, that are less likely to be programmed to understand it. Tap. I want to tap. Interact. Door gunner mega mix. Porter reel is just what you needed. The reel is attached to the apparatus with a satisfying click. Tape is routed behind the magnetic reader. Play it. You push commence and the tape starts spinning. A violent static and machine sounds fill the air.
This isn't Revachol. This is a fucking village. I can almost see the elephants.
The harbor. That's the son of a Kvalson crane.
When this shit is done, I'm gonna tear that place up. Soldier of the apocalypse style. Kill shit. Dogs and chickens too. Gonna run a room, Cordy. A real nice one. I don't give a shit. I'm fucking done. I'm done mentally. I'll fucking do them all in. Rape that disco cunt on the counter. You know, the dance a whore upstairs. Do it Kohoi style. Never did get that taste out of my mouth.
The rest of the tape is empty. The lieutenant presses a button marked Arater on your porter reel. It stops spinning. What was that at the very end? Silence?
End of recording.
What do you think?
It seemed authentic enough. Probably recorded off the shortwave. then edited to seem more incriminating. He sounded like he was on patrol around the harbor walls.
He also sounded inebriated.
Still,
The lieutenant looks at the tape. You're familiar with this look now. It's his look of suspicion. There's more going on here than we know. Is Cordy?
one of the other mercenaries, I think. The one he was talking to. A friend of his?
Kohoi?
A village on the Samaran Isola, in South Safre. Grad committed war crimes there, the kind of thing he talks about.
I think he was there.
Who knows? Maybe the tattoos would have an answer. Or maybe Kohoi is just merc talk for atrocity, slaughter.
Okay then, what now?
I think we've got a few more questions for class here, don't you? This seems to contradict her testimony, at least to some degree.
As you take out the tape, the boombox tunes itself back to the cheery radio again, spewing out beats like it's a Friday night. Oh, that's what's making the noise. I see. I can't have this. But seeing that do things makes me wonder. Just because we have, like, him on tape now. They were thinking that the big scab guy down here was probably involved, right? Also, it seems that my run key is broken. It's now in auto-run mode, which is better. But if he's connected, he might have some dialogue.
Bastards! We have a right to work!
Dan yells toward the harbor gates. His voice is the loudest of the lot, oddly screechy for a man his size. What's going on here?
Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are here.
The broad-shouldered alpha male turns to you. He's a full head taller than everyone else here.
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down.
No?
Good. We're fighting for a cause here. Right to work! Right to work! Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence.
Regardless, I have some questions for you.
Maybe you should ask them the questions, like why we're not allowed to make a living here. Shame on you! We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
He points a finger at the man sitting on the railing.
So do we, Scott.
What exactly is your goal here? Who are all these strikebreakers? Honest men and women with rights to work. Be useful, not toys for corporate interests. The man runs a hand through his steadily graying military haircut. Came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. Union fucks don't want work, they ought to let in those who want to work. I have a question. The lieutenant looks him in the eye. Why do all these men follow your leadership? Think they follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy, because they work. He starts bellowing, given a job to do. What's your goal here, man? You were promised work. You'd be in there working if the bastards hadn't shut the gate. I don't think that that's the case. I think you're in costume. There's talk of military folks. You fit the bill. You were promised work, blah blah blah. And you're unable to reach the entrance? Main gate's locked. It would take heavy ordnance to bust it open. Could try to get into the secretary's office. Door's locked, guards blocking the way. I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. I mean head measurer, or whatever he is. He considered storming in, violently. Why don't you go arrest him instead? Should have done plenty of criminal shit. It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home, at least for now, if you cannot get in anyway. And now, they'll give up eventually, or get drunk, leave the button unguarded. Then we charge! Perfectly lightly bearded square wedge. What is a strike? Eh. You're not gonna give me it. Alright. Wonder if Joyce is anything. I mean, she's an option, right? And she's over there. We still have time in the day. Though she may still not want to talk with us until I get my, actual badge. Which I do not have. Nor do I have the gun. Both of which should be over here by all leaps of logic, but are not.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
We've spoken of Claire. You have. How did you like Mr. Claire? Finally, time to choose sides. I didn't. He's a beautiful man, beautiful in jest. Everett Claire is a hero of the workers' movement. He's a champion of sword fealty too. He's a bloated rainbow socialist. I can do business with him. For a socialist, he's reasonable. He's not the champion I have chosen. I wish to swear fealty to you and the cause of capital. It's not important if I liked him. I was doing my job. I didn't. Oh, come now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Or wait, actually, she answers her own question. Corruption! That's how he's done it. Fantastic, worm-like corruption reaching into the bowels of the earth. She looks at the ground and nods. The position of my unusual colleague does not reflect official policy. I hope you understand, the RCM does not pick sides. Of course, and I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a corrupt worm myself. She turns to you, however, if you felt like discussing something. How could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear what another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping. Tell her she'll like you for it. He asked me to deliver an envelope. Sounds like he has you running errands, detective. A well-established dominant ritual. Where did he have you deliver it? A nameless settlement down the coast nearby. I've been meaning to go there. She looks over the bay. With longing, clear and simple. Strange. Why does she want to go there? You're quite fond of the village, aren't you? I should be. She nods. There's that crooked smile again. In my youth, I had a brief dalliance here in Martinez. He was an older man with impossibly broad shoulders. He's probably dead by now. Even his shack's long gone. Not that it matters. These buildings are all carbon copies of one another. You've been here before? Yes, I was slumming it with some girlfriends of mine. We had boats and... Don't hold it against me, my paramour certainly did not. Sounds like you missed those times. Not overly so. It's not like this was the only places we visit. Me and my girlfriends from Ozane, on our shiny boats like reavers. We told ourselves we were the worst thing to happen to the coast since the coalition landed in '08. Imagine! She tosses her head. Something about a youth center for the children. A youth center with Edgar Clare's statue on top of it. Go ahead and help him. Make it so. I have no power to stop him. You said you couldn't buy the place. I am. I'll never have the time. I always wanted a dilapidating fishing village. She's more defensive about it than usual. Full of ghosts and ancient memories. Has this errand yielded you any information? I'm not gonna give those away. Of course. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. You know anything about these tattoos? Show her the photo. That's the man who was killed. She almost takes the photo but then stops. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question. So you know something about them. Better not to tie the forestay to the backstay on this. I hope there's something else I can help you with. Yeah, no, badge is missing. I can't do anything. That's all for now. Sad. It's weird. I feel like they gave the better person the worst side. But that's probably the message, right? Did that on purpose. Because she's representing the quote-unquote evil organization side, right? The one that doesn't really care about the people, but the one that is supposed to be for the people is run by that sniveling man-rat. Huh. Okay. Back up to the lady. Random chances. Bullshit, I deserve free kicks. Watch out. It will never work. Never happened.
Officer, it's a fine day for questions.
Titus Hardy gave us a recording where the deceased states his intention to commit rape. Put your coffee cup down. A soft ring as the porcelain meets the metal table. Diddy, a smile flits across her face. I never said he was a good man, or that he had good intentions, only that he was never bad to me. On this tape, he specifically identifies you as the target. And where did they get this recording exactly? It's intercepted radio chatter of the deceased, recorded via the ID encryption station. It's authentic enough. Does he say he's gonna do it Soldier of the Apocalypse style? She arches her brow. Something to that effect, yes. The phrase was used. The lieutenant checks his notes and nods. Yeah, that was practically his pickup line. She picks the cup back up. The memory surfaces in her tired near neocortex. Not entirely unpleasant. Did he say whores a lot? He was pretty much on the verge of doing it Kohoi style. Kohoi was mentioned. He wasn't actually there. He didn't do a tour. Or at least didn't tell me he did. Would have been overkill anyway. He lived his own little Kohoi. It was in his everything. Why say things like that? Machismo? Yes, was he bragging? Oh no, I'm pretty sure he did all those things, then integrated them into his idea of normalcy. To keep on living. Until they just sorta turned into his... what's the word I'm looking for? Persona? Running joke. I was gonna say running joke. And it sounds like he didn't even get the good bits. Lily's punchlines got way funkier than that. First time I've heard his name. He was like the Simity's Conflict, the Kohoi Massacre, and the 36 Famine, and Yesut all rolled into one person. Then cast an orangey ceramic armor, which she wore in bed and the shower. You like this kind of stuff? We're all scraping up any happiness we can find, officer. Going around with our little scouring sticks. You, your first love, Mr. Kohoi here. Did he tell you he had actually done any of the things? Here in Martinez, I mean? No, we were too busy laying waste to our own nervous systems to direct any of the fury outward. He seemed happy, I guess. At ease. As much as a man like him could be. Thank you for clearing that up, miss. He turns to you. Whenever you are ready. I'm interested to hear what Titus Hardy has to say now. Now that you've had some time, can you tell us more about the victim? Like, for example, his name. Actually, officer, I didn't know his name, I just called him Lely. A nickname? I guess. It came from Lelystad. It's short for that. And it was his army name. He said his real name wasn't his. I tried to pry it out of him, but no use. Lelystad. That's a good start. The lieutenant writes it down in his notebook. Then tears out a page and hands it to you. We have a few questions you could help us with, a few things a field autopsy alone can't answer. The young woman cranes her neck trying to catch a glimpse of the page the lieutenant passed to you. On it's a list of autopsy observations, recorded neatly in blue ink. The last missing pieces of a puzzle of flesh. Where is Lelystad, the place? In Orange. It's a municipality? A nowhere town there. The Lelystad municipality has a few boroughs and even fewer cities. It's made of agricultural plots near the border of Gottwald. Executive summary, cow silos wheat. You were almost right, officer. The lieutenant shakes his head. Like he just missed a shot in darts. This means his race was accidental, not Mondai. I'll update the form. Looks to Klassia. You're both from Orange. Yes, we were compatriots. Did that bring you together? No, he was too old for that, and from another part of Orange. I didn't even understand his accent. What brought us together wasn't Orange, it was bad habits. Sex, alcohol. How old was he, miss? 42. 42. Are you sure? I would have had him above 50. He had many scars that made him appear older, but no. Memory makes her smile. We even celebrated his birthday like some weeks ago. It was a funny 2 days. He had a little reason to lie to me. We were slightly off then. Thank you for clearing it up. The lieutenant makes a correction in his notes. Adversary 1. His eye color. Blue. Light blue. They were like... She stops. Her eyes half closed, then continues. Like little blue galaxies. It was strange, seeing those eyes in his fucked up face. Pardon the swearing. She takes a drag. I do him an injustice. He wasn't ugly. And he had a beautiful soft voice. Surprising, what with all the scarring. It was quite something watching him speak. He had a combat wound on his chin and mouth. Yes, severe. She seems to enjoy the word. It made him look like half his face was cracking away in some strange smile. That and those eyes. Oh yes, his hair, if you can remember. It was light brown, almost blonde. He darkened it with brilliantine, made it oily, not nice to stroke. I couldn't convince him to leave it alone. His tattoo, what did it mean? Oh, that. What did it represent? It was a map of his life and the places he visited as a soldier. Mostly for showing off the chicks, though. Okay, how? How? Imagine him lying in bed, freakish musculature laid out on the sheet. Scarred, of course, tattooed. The sheets are dirty for some reason. He's smoking and drinking. Of course. And his chest and shoulders and arms are studded with scars. Tens, hundreds of them, maybe even thousands. And the woman goes like she points at the air with her sharp-fingered nail, picking at an imaginary tattoo star. What was this, baby? And he says, she lowers her voice comically, that was too hardcore, don't ask me about that. And she goes, okay, but what's this, baby? And he's like, saw some bad shit there, killed some Loringlaufs. And so it goes, star after star, port after port, third world country after third world country. He's done horrible things in every single one of them. And you were the woman in that? Oh yeah. Can you tell us precisely what these mean? Hand her the photo. No thank you. She does not take it. I've seen enough of him dead. I can tell you what they meant without looking at them. She pours herself some more coffee. Go on. He was a blue-eyed boy with thick arms from a small town. He was also poor, and the government of Orange needed some people killed, so they turned him into a grotesque killer for money. He went to Killer Academy in Vredfart. Then he killed some people on the Simidian Islands, and other ones too. All of them. After this he came to Ravishal and got killed himself. Not a very fun story. It is when you're high. It can be very exciting then. You have the tools to deal with it. It's not a very nice story to remember when you're sober, though. Change of topics? Could it be love that did him in? Very well could be. What do you mean? What do I mean? She raises an eyebrow. I have no idea. I don't even know what you mean. Love did him in, what does that mean? He told me. Love did him in. It's not funny, officer. We ordered a toxicology report. Any idea what it'll show us? A real rainbow splattering of pharmaceuticals, I bet. Barbiturates, amphetamines, blah, 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 blah. How much does that toxicity report cost the police of Ravenshaw? I can do some of it for half that, save you some money, make some myself. It's quite expensive, miss, but we will manage without your help for now. I think we're finished with that. Alright. The lieutenant puts the slip back in his notes and observes the young woman for a moment. Coolly, gracefully, she pours herself more coffee. Damn it! She looks back, time moves slowly, the triangles of her face rearranging into a weary smile. Don't worry, we will protect you from her beauty. We will consult you through the reefs and sounds of her persona. We will see through the seats. You are shielded, you are wise. You are advised. There are muscles and long white bones that lie in her limbs just below the silver jumpsuit. Miss Orange did answer. You want to put your hand on her back and feel it arc. What's happening? Nothing. Just time passing, don't worry. You are not a fool. Anything out of the ordinary and you would be notified. Air moves in your windpipe, your heart beats. You're a detective, get back to detecting. Am I being beguiled? Presses her elbows against her waist and slowly turns her head. Her hair brushes her shoulders, making a small hissing sound almost imperceptible. Avert your eyes. Strange moment ends. No longer in 2.5 seconds. That feels like a lot. But I have the point, I think. Thought I did. Turn to this later. Do I not, actually? I guess I don't. I thought I got a point. We'll investigate that later, I guess. She's hiding something. They weren't raped, but they were carted down there anyway. Hanged. It's weird. Why include her like that, if she was against his death?
The clowns are still hanging around. What is it now?
I talked to her about the tape. And nothing, she stands by what she said. A fucking fucker. He stares at his beer for 2 seconds intently. You're the worst cops in Ravenshaw. I gave you gold on that tape. Gold, it was just locker room talk, not evidence. Dark stuff, but it didn't prove anything. It didn't change your mind. It was bad, honestly. I expected it to have more effect. You pretty much laughed it off, Titus. Fucking fucker. He shakes his head in disbelief. And what'd you say then? As it's fine, people are supposed to be like that? It didn't come to a surprise to her, and that she definitely wasn't scared. Actually, I think it made her a little nostalgic. If anything, she seemed turned on by the whole door gunning thing. Yes, in fact. The lieutenant looks at you, then him. Thinks she thought it was a little funny. There you go, Kim. Funny? Titus mumbles, his lips barely moving. No good goddamn psycho whore. Alright. He slams his giant fist on the doorframe. Oh, fuckity right then. I guess it's good then. That fucking... Please try to control yourself in the presence of visitors, Titus. Your voice is a bit softer than earlier. This is just perfect. Just fucking perfect. Any thoughts on that slaw, man? Titus rubs his chin with the palm of it, as if trying to grind it smooth. Women are crazy, irrational. That's what you're thinking, right? I see your fists are itching for a bump. Women are crazy. Maybe she isn't who you thought she was. Maybe she's still in denial, you know? Like a defense mechanism. Be straight with me, Titus. What really happened? Maybe she's in denial or something? Yeah, maybe that is a possibility. Maybe she's not who you thought she was. I know her. She looked He looks upstairs distracted. She's just a girl in over her head. She's a hardcore party girl with a bigger death wish than mine. Yeah. Right about that. She takes way too many drugs. Well, it's as they say, you can't do anything with an underdose. The Mesk looks away with a philosophical look in his eyes. With an overdose, you can at least try to come off it. Take a bath, do breathing exercises. Get medical attention as necessary. With an overdose, you're just you. Yeah, but I mean, she has an actual drug problem. Not like you, not like us. He glances at his beer. I don't think I've ever seen her sober. Yeah, man, women be crazy, dog. Say that again. He holds out his giant fist right here. Here we go. Bump it hard. Bump it hard. It hurts, but it heals me. Your fist connects with his hard. The slam is audible. You can almost hear the bones ring. Your knuckles tingle, add life affirmingly. And now you, Binoclard. His voice is chummy as he turns to the lieutenant. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses, then extends his curled fist and taps Titus's bruised knuckles. A bond has been formed. Not bad. Be straight with me, dude. What really happened? I already told you. Put his giant face in his hands and sighs. We fucking hanged him. There's less gusto in his voice now. His men, too, are growing increasingly silent. Come on, Titus. It's been a long day. I am tired of running back and forth between you. I could just see you're tired, too. Why don't you just... You know what? I am tired. Tired of you and that whore upstairs. Next time you see her, tell her Titus said fuck off. He throws his beer can down. That lying, scamming... We're done. This is over, you understand? Your little investigation's over. Yeah, there's a silence in the room. Blaine starts saying something, then thinks best not to. I need to cough. Sorry. On the floor, beer drips out of the can into a small puddle. No one does anything about it. What's this quiet funeral shit? We need some beers in us. Bartender, 20 beers for the dog workers union. Why don't we make it 40, huh? The man shouts from behind the counter. Why don't we make it 100? You're not loud enough. 100 beers, now we're talking. Glenn livens up. Yippity hop over here, cafeteria manager. The window might be closing. The more beers they get, and then the less cooperative they will be. Rhetoric. Godly. Convinced Titus is being manipulated. And 3 plus 1s. Let's leave for now. Actually, let's make a hard save. There's a lot going on. Still don't have a point, because this shit's difficult, apparently. I'm bad. Visit number 28 sometime after 2100. Still not there yet. But it's good to know that it's not just tomorrow, because I don't want to do that. Reality low down, I don't really care about that. Most of the trash, badges. Hey, do you care that it was actually her that did that? Because I feel like she's spinning a tail.
Can I help you?
Yeah, class should nick the phone line, by the way. Why? No, I don't want to know. Don't want to know why these degenerates do what they do. I thought we had one good guest in the building. You have Lena. Lena's a good customer. Yeah, well, she's not a guest, is she? What? Woman chimes in. Did someone mention my name? We were just paying you a compliment, and finding out a degenerate from room 3 nicked the phone line. Everything's okay here. Then turns to you. Good thing that guest pays for her stuff on time. I'll forward her the bill and we can be done. Was there anything else? The bill? 20 real? Sure. No. I wasn't expecting this much of a conversation. I was just going to look at a menu and then stop. He, however, is the cafeteria manager, not the bartender, even though he's giving them beers over there. Shrugs, I guess. I had something else I needed. Go to the back. I got a bunch of +1s, a thing I can't look at yet, and 2 checks that are scary. Man, I don't want to deal with this. I've had very bad RNG here recently, so I'm a little cautious. Are you the hardy girl? I am not. You could be. Even a mod. But I went to law school, I'm an attorney. He's right, with a face like that, she could be on the cover of Le Debutante International. You're very pretty. The cold look in her eyes speaks louder than the words. She's not amused. We'll speak later. I think I can manage it.
What is it?
Well, we're having more friendly conversations now. That's nice. Oh boy. Be nice? Please? I have low confidence in this. Events Titus? He's being manipulated. You should know by now, Titus Hardy will never falter. But one of his boys will. Bad Angus. Powerful guy, Mr. All Muscle. The time has come to put him in the pressure cooker. Just remember, it's about more than Clasia. It's about these men in Martinez, their district, their responsibility. Outside in the midday sun, ruins. The pavements are cracked and the benches peeling, newspapers blow in the wind. That's it then, case closed. We're going home, Kim. Huh? The lieutenant raises his brow. I'll get it, go on. Write it down. In Martinez, they just kill you because they don't like you. Got it. Takes out his notebook. Kill you because they don't like you. All because some chick, because you're a foreigner, because you work for the wrong people, because they like killing. You'll get it, go on. Write it down, Kim and Martinez. They just kill you because they don't like you. Because you're a foreigner, you work for the wrong people. Work for the wrong people, I guess? Goddamn right. This is Uniontown. You work for the company and you work for the company. We will kill you. Fuck, Dennis, we don't kill you if you work for the company. Half the harbor works for the company. Work for the wrong company. And they execute you. They just hang you, like in the Dark Ages. Make a display of your corpse. They club you from behind, string you up, and go back to drinking. These cool guys, you drag them out back, light the corpse on fire, and piss on them, you don't care. Club you from behind, string you up, and go back to drinking. It wasn't that. It wasn't, the fat man says with a wheeze. We didn't hit him, okay? That's it, that's the weak one. You flushed him out. Now go in for the... Officer, you will be next if you do not shut up. The old man reaches for his belt, but his voice is strangely calm. He's onto you. He knows what you're trying to do. Steel yourself and push on. Just ignore the... Or what? You're gonna kill me like you killed him for no fucking reason? What happens if I keep talking? Gonna kill me too in the bar for nothing? Turn to Angus. Or what? Gonna kill me like you killed him? We didn't kill him. We didn't even hang him. He was dead when... Takes the breath, raising. Shut up, Angus. He was dead before you hanged him? Fatty. The little guy hits Angus on the back of his head in a loud slap. Say one more thing to the cops and I'll... Dennis, Titus roars. Stand down or I'll beat your head in. Theo. He points to the old man. Take your hand off the belt. This isn't 31. I got this under control. The room falls quiet. So quiet you can hear Angus wheeze. Angie, where's your goddamn inhaler? You sound like you're dying. I left it home. I can't get it. I'm too fucked. I'm sorry. Why are you so fucking fat, Angus? Lizzie snaps at him. Now it's all pointless because of you. You wasted my time. I told you, Titus. She turns to him. I told you to just give her up. Lizzie. He turns to the fixer. Your help is no longer needed here. Go tell Everett. Fine, I'll tell him. After a long walk along the coast. She walks off without looking back. You're in. He's all yours. Questions? So you didn't kill him. He was already dead. He nods. You hanged the corpse to cover up the real cause of death. What was it? We're not sure. Probably a bullet. The wound was difficult to see. The coroner and his assistant are wrapped in blue, hands covered in blue gloves, mouths covered by blue masks, bodies by blue aprons. The coroner wipes his brow, scalpel still in hand. Get the light, shine it in his mouth, he tells the assistant. The coroner squats to better see as the light illuminates the darkness inside. Well, shit. Can't blame them for missing that. Get the saw on, this just got fun. Why? Because the girls asked us to. They weren't some shit. Did she kill him? Cop, I have no idea. The girl didn't say. What happened Sunday night? Classia came down. He pointed to the stairs. She seemed really out of it. Drugged up, even more than usual. Bug-eyed and gurning, you know, not in a fun way. It looked like she'd redosed after something went down. I seen that look before. She was scared. I knew someone had died. How'd you know? I've done this job for 10 years. I've seen it before. It's the politician in the motel room with the dead hooker scenario, only in reverse. Good analogy, boss, the rat-faced man snickers. You don't get to talk yet, Shanky, he points at him. You're still on the bench, and you keep talking, taking it easy too, Angus. He turns back to you. That's okay with the fat man, still wheezing there. He couldn't speak if he wanted to. What happened then? We went upstairs. Sure as day the merc was dead, and there was a bullet hole through the window. Fucking, he scratches his chin. Dirty sheets. Bottles everywhere. Tibbs patched the window, and the corpse we hanged. Who's Tibbs? The A-Farty? Nah, he's my brother. He's in the window replacement business. If Classia didn't kill him, why the cover-up? You may have noticed our girl's some shit of her own. What kind of shit we talking about? The can't show up on police radar kind. There are people after her from the old world where she came from. And who are they? They're powerful. He looks out the window, connected to the moral intern. She's clearly afraid for her life. Says if she showed up in your system, she'd be ghosted away. And why would you help someone like that? By taking on a murder. Why would I? I guess we invite all sorts of runaways and losers here. It's a Martinez thing. So who killed the merc then? Not yet. Just some ideas. She says the shot came from outside, beyond the window somewhere, so there's a clue. So what you thinking? Thinking someone's past caught up with them. Either hers or his. Hers, you mean. I mean the people after Classia. Maybe the shot missed, maybe it was meant for her. I like that, the young guy nods. Been thinking the same thing myself. You had ideas about his past too? I do. One of those mercenary buddies of his could have done it. They got guns, training, years of bad blood probably. Or it could have been someone else from Clairdo. He pauses to think. Tell you what I'd do. Check out the coast for vantage points, maybe consult with a ballistics buddy of mine. That's what I would do. If I wasn't too busy doing his clown dance with you. He's calm now. Threw all the turmoil away and became himself again. Whose idea was it to hang him anyway? Hers? What do you mean? In a manner of speaking, what do you mean? We had help from another girl. It was her idea to hang him, and I liked it, for political reasons. Send a good message. It's her, isn't it, the missing Eve Hardy? That's the other girl? The big guy turns to Glenn, who's about to say something. Blonde shuts his mouth before a word escapes. I'll say it again. Titus turns to you. All the Hardy boys are right here. That woman is just affiliated with the Hardy boys. You don't know her anyway. You know it's okay for there to be a Hardy girl, Titus. His face sets like concrete. He shakes his head solemnly. We're Hardy boys, and that is it. Sure, but can you tell me anything about this affiliate? Name, current location? Nope. You're not getting to her? It's Clausia you want to talk to. Sorry I made you guys fight. Me too. Kim, we did it. Lieutenant gives a smile only you can see. Thank you for this, Titus. I'll go talk to her for the last time. You do that. Grabs his beard, swirls it in his hand, then thinks of something. Hey, cop, before you go. Suddenly the wind picks up outside. You hear it rattling, the large windows in their frames. He carries newspapers, circles the whirling in rags in a warm column. He looks up. Last you came to Martinez to hide. Many of us did. This is where you wash up when there's nowhere left to go. The Union takes you in. Now, she refused that protection, but you would still prefer it if we didn't take her away? That's right. If we didn't take care of the people who end up here, this place would just be a couple of ruins and some cargo containers. We'll take that into account. The lieutenant slides his notebook into his coat pocket. He turns to leave. Is it time? No. It might be. I see. Come on. Yeah! There's a yellow ribbon tied to one of the branches. A light yellow, faded with time. Tiny splash of color in the blackness of the thicket, hanging from it a bronze key. It's close enough to the latch up there. One can slide it open and just take it, surely not a coincidence. Someone's hid a key in the bush. Huh? Big guy looks behind him. Can you let me slide by so I can grab the thing? Don't know about that. The tattooed man yawns and settles more comfortably on the bench. I'm comfortable here. Don't think any sliding would really help right now. Sorry, fucko. Looks like you're gonna have to go bush diving. Good fucking luck with that. Hawthorne's got a bitch of a bite. Gonna enjoy the sight of you in the bushes out there. With a loud thud, the old man stands up, pushes the window open, grabs the key from the hawthorn bush, and slides it across the table to take the key. The key is brass. Workshop square is etched into the brow. The old man closes the window and sits back down in silence. Key for workshop. Come on, man, we were just having some fun. Where's the harm in it? I'm tired of listening to your shit. Thank you. Not to the old man. Don't thank me. The old man takes out his pack of chewing tobacco. I don't give two shits about your key. Does anyone know why this thing was hanging out the window? Didn't even know it was there. Man looks at the key. Been around the room. Boys? No idea. Never even seen it. Someone must have hidden it there before this room became our place. I wonder what doors it opens. It could open the door in the kitchen, the blue door. He looks at the key in your hand. It says workshop spare. Maybe there's a workshop there. But then I don't have to kick the door. That's not right. Dust rises before you like a mist, a tomb haunted by regal spirits from distant ages. Smells like engine grease and cut wood, a workshop. Pinball says Franco-Nigerian. The theme is horses and swords. Pinball's white Diora. Backlash shows a female figure in mourning. All these mesmerizing machines just waiting to be plugged back in and played. Run your finger across the dust of the white Diora machine. Feels like it might jump back to life at any moment. The lights illuminating the white-robed woman. It's just a white Diora. Some kind of inane pinball theme, proudly related to Messina during the DeLorean age. The history themes are the worst. Lieutenant Grimace is looking at the machines. How about we fire one of these bad boys up, play some ball? You cannot fire them up, they're broken. Only that one machine in the main hall works. The Royalist pinball. He looks away. What a dumb name. Royalist pinball. If they weren't broken, you'd kick one of these machines about now. Sounds like you don't enjoy pinball, Kim. No, I love it. I love it. Who doesn't love pinball? Let's move on. He does not. 72% chance. Kim Pinball Kitsuragi. Kimball? Exactly. That's what he's known as. His reputation precedes him. You're Kim Pinball Kitsuragi. So now he remembers. He looks you in the silence of the workshop, then takes his glasses off and cleans them. Fine, I am Kim Pinball Kitsuragi. He puts them back on, aka the Kimball. You remembered, congratulations. But I can't remember anything else. Wonderful. He only remembers hearing about the pinball policeman. You don't seem to really like pinball. No human being should. It is a game that requires no skill and a childlike affinity to flashing lights, and to fantastique science fiction and historic romance franchises. It is lame. Then why are you called Kimball? I am not called Kimball. It used to taunt me a long time ago before I became a homicide detective and got my lieutenancy. How did you... He puts his glasses back on. Fine, I was a juvenile police officer for over 15 years. That's how I started out in the RCM. Once I had to infiltrate a pinball ring, as you do when you're a juvie cop, okay? It was not okay. I needed to become a pinball champion. I trained for 9 months. The job was successful, and I was moved out of the juvenile wing to homicide. End of story. You were a juvie cop for 15 years? That time is over now. He looks at the pinball machine and breathes in. I was already a 38-year-old man. It was unbecoming as I was playing pinball. So that's why you didn't talk to Kuno. I'm gonna call you Pinball now. I'm gonna call you Kimball now. Don't worry, I'll keep calling you Kim. You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi to me. Not only to you, I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi to everyone. Now, we really need to continue our sweep of what appears to be a secret path through the whirling. Of course, Kim. Yeah. Over there in the corner. Pinball machine. Not just any. This is the pinnacle of pinball. Cornelius Ghoulie of the pinball goats. Of the mountain goats. It's lit. Can't wait to get your hands on it. Seeing what I'm seeing? Pinball machine. A classic. Let's take a closer look. Pull it out. Oh, great. Cornelius Ghoulie and the Mountain Goat reads the golden lettering on top of the back box. There's a small column of text underneath it. The machine is coin operated. Get the game on, finger boy. These finger flippers are ready. Leaning closer to read the text. Above the painting of a mustachioed man climbing a hill, a column reads, inspired by the legend of Cornelius Ghoulie taking on the world's tallest peak, Carpus Mundi. The Mesk legends hold that when the nation is in danger, heroic Ghoulie shall return and save his people. Inspect the field. The theme of the game is to explore Ghouli's climb through the perspective of goats and to ascend to the top of the mountain in a time of trouble. The peak of the mountain is at the top of the playfield. All the balls have small goat icons on them to represent the goats as they race up and down the mountain. Areas around the playfield represent Ghouli's climb, places he was said to have camped, which the goats can discover. Get them to the summit. What's with all the goats? Indeed, think of them as balls. I'm gonna waste a real on this. Well, it takes a while to get into a rhythm, but pretty soon you're able to keep 3 goat-faced balls in play with relative ease. Go, finger boy. Feel sorry for the goats. If only they knew what kind of guy old Cornelius really was. What kind of guy was he then? The kind of guy who uses the word savages a lot when recounting his travels. A Mesk nationalist. An avid huntsman too, the lieutenant adds. He was often photographed in his dining hall surrounded by wall-mounted hunting trophies from every continent. Not great. He's also hit his wife and kids, other people's kids too, sometimes pets. Hateful little man. But you seem to be having fun, he nods at the machine. Pretty good, eh? Your game is definitely improving. The jolly goats are flying all over the board, and although a few plummet to their deaths, you're never left with less than 3. Suddenly a special passage leading to the summit slides open at the top of the board. This is where the balls need to go. Concentrate and aim for the narrow passage. Maneuvering a goat ball into position for the perfect hit is not easy. More fall to their deaths, but finally the opportunity presents itself. One of them gets through. The words "pale rupture" light up on the speaker panel, and the machine starts filling with a thick milky fog. Something's happening. Congratulations, the lieutenant nods. This is where the game ends. It's a cheap way of getting more money out of players. A stupid nihilistic finale. There's so much fog you can barely see anything. Some is actually leaking out of the machine, and one by one your goat starts slipping, disappearing into the milky nothingness. This can be navigated. The balls leave an almost imperceptible disruptions in the fog. Use them to calculate where they hit next. Huh. Oh no. You're down to your last goat. Going mostly by sound, eyes are useless at this point, but that goat is something special. 5 times you snatch him back from the jaws of death. Kim, I can do what you wouch. I am. I've seen it before. Played it too. You'll eventually make a mistake. And then it's all over. I have... Give up, winning is too stressful. Never! But I'm bad at ball games. No. I got 2 5s and it wasn't enough. The last goat plummets into the fog. There goes nothing. Oh. Now I'm sad. Look in, smells of nougat and sweat. Your head brushes up against the ceiling. There's a control panel to your right and just enough room for 2 people to fit. Maintenance card under the yellow panel reads last maintenance 10 July 88. Look at the controls. Large rectangular buttons. Up, down. Emergency call. Third one is broken. Last maintenance in 88. And it does. See, let's brave it. Alright. Long time ago. The end of the last century. Look on the bright side, if it fails, we've only sustained minor injuries. Talking 3, maybe 4 months into hospital, maximum 5. Alright, let's go. I don't even care. I don't want to talk anymore. Let's just do it. I turned pink. That was weird. Small windows taped shut with black plastic. You can't not see outside. Boxes of tools and replacement parts line the shelves. Schematics for a pinball machine. The future is themed. +1 to empathy and hand-eye coordination. Oh, those are good. Those are very good. Take your coat. Pinball machine has been taken apart and gutted. This is where they brought faulty pinball machines to fix them up. Long time ago. Everything's covered with dust now. The lieutenant looks around the room. Dusty, crowded room, inspecting the tools on the shelf. Used to be a pinball workshop. Looks like it. I'm guessing Martinez North 22 used to be a pinball arcade before it became a hostel. There are machines left over. A creak, some dust falls off a shelf. Downstairs in the hall next to the main door, one of them even works. I've seen one of the Hardys bang away at it. Looks like they gave up on fixing pinball machines at some point. At some point. 20 years ago? 15 maybe? Before pinball went into vogue? You clearly see footprints in the downy carpet of dust. Jackpot. These, unlike everything else, are new. Someone's been here within the last week or 2. 3 weeks maximum from the dust coverage. It could easily have been 1 week too, you know, officer. This is so good it makes him forget the whole Kimball memory. This isn't bad at all. It was a good idea to see where that door leads. Commendable work, bringing us to this place. Have a closer look then. Large prints, most likely made by boots. The size is hard to determine. It's all gonna be bigger than the vamp. The soles have left a pattern, uniform horizontal lines. This print doesn't look like the odd-soled print we found at the hanging gym. Inspects the tracks closer. Size looks about the same, actually. They're not the same shoe, but they could be the same person. Doesn't look like workers' boots. No, these little horizontal lines are different. They look custom-made, some kind of a foreign print. Still a boot, though. What's this mean? It means someone snuck through what seemed like a secret route behind Classia's room in the recent weeks. This may prove to be significant. Move on. Tiny hole in the wall. See a bedroom on the other side. You can almost see the shape of a man and a woman arriving inside, bathed in drug sweat and dirty linens. Bottles lie around everywhere. I think I can see into her bedroom from here. He leans closer to inspect the people. Can barely see through. Better not to jump to sensationalist conclusions here. Footprints on the floor, however. Definitely suspicious. Boring footprints. I want to jump to sensationalist conclusions. What are they doing in there? You lean closer to the people instinctively. Bet they're doing something quite unnatural there. Sensationally unnatural, anyway. They were fucking. Unbar the door. What's on the other side? As we veered off into a folded M dimension, I'm expecting to step out onto the roof. I need it. But I should have left it barred because I wanted to kick it down. Because I am against inanimate objects, apparently. Things that can be kicked must be kicked.
It's always good to see you.
Something in her demeanor has changed. She's tired, consigned to her fate, to being here, you, and what's to come. The Hardy Boys told us what really happened. I understand. She puts her coffee mug on the table. You don't look surprised. You were expecting this. I knew there was a chance you'd get him to tell you. It's what you do. You're the police. She winces. For what it's worth, I'm sorry for wasting your time. If you knew we would find out eventually, why did you waste our time? Because of the Hardys. I couldn't just dispense with them. They were only trying to help me. She looks at her feet. Out of the shit I'd gotten into. That's not quite good enough this time. You're right. There is more. You answer to the coalition government, and by extension the moral intern. She reaches for a new cigarette. Briefly glancing over her shoulder to the sea, as she's done time and time again. Is that why you're looking over your shoulder? You're afraid of the moral intern? What's the Elysium's involvement with the moral intern got to do with this? You're afraid of the moral intern? She nods. You share a database with them. You send people to their courts. She lights on the cigarette. What's going on? What'd you do? Just business, but bad business for some people in the moral intern. If I show up in your records, officer, they will find me. They will. What happens if they do? They'll kill me, sir. If you file my name, take me in for questioning, enter me into the moral intern mill. There's a wince and a pained little smile. Moral intern mill. Well, then I'm fucked. For nothing. The murder didn't have anything to do with me. What'd you do to have these people after you? It's not nice. It's not illegal. Or even in Orange. What did you do? Industrial espionage. I joined a business collective with the intention of betraying them. Did my job well enough to be asked to do it again. A bigger company. The kind you really don't want to fuck with. I took their ledgers, 2 decades worth of accounting. Eh. I need the names of the companies involved, and who hired you. He taps on his notebook. Job was Elysium, Country Savings Bank. They sound small, but they're part of the Luke Sapp conglomerate. That was the second job. The first was some printer company. You wouldn't know them. But as to who hired me, I don't know. But they are after me too. along with Fluxap and their friends in the MI. She breathes out heavily. Once you're done in the competitive intelligence circuit, you don't have allies, you're radioactive. Fluxap. These people engineer financial disasters in second world countries. The conglomerate also includes the Bank of Consecration, Airberg, and the popular Papalolo line of dairy products. Papalolo! Yeah, Papa fucking Lola wants to kill me. She smiles. Sure there are people who have done much worse than that. Sure, I'm not a war criminal, but it was bad. People lost their jobs. Good people too, not just C-suite. A lot of people got hurt, but that's just more of my shit you shouldn't have to deal with. You're solving a murder. So what happened here the night he died? We were there. She points to the window. The silhouette of the bed is visible. Together, I mean. Tell me exactly what happened. Okay. She takes a deep breath. He was in a kneeling position. He just entered me. I was on my back looking at him. I heard the window behind me shatter. I turned to look. There was a hole there. I turned back to him. His eyes were looking through me and his mouth was open. Dumb. I could see. A great pain moves through her. A dark and indefinite wave. She continues in spite of it. I knew he was dead before he fell down on top of me. Then what happened? He was heavy. I pushed him off and he fell to the floor. She points through the window. He only had his boots on. I bit the pillow not to scream, then ran downstairs. There's a long pause. She stands there, arms at her sides. I waited for the second shot to come. For me, I thought there'd be one, but never came. She's forgotten about her cigarette. The butt is burned right down to her fingernails. Your cigarette, miss. Oh. She quickly tosses the butt aside. Sorry this happened to you. So am I. She immediately proceeds to light another one. What time was this? When did it happen? It would help us if you would be as precise as possible. 11:30 to 12:15. I don't know the exact time, around midnight. But it's okay. Were you inebriated? Not as much as usual. He done a line, plus other things. I was drinking. Wait, Titus said she was gurning her jaw off, much more than usual. Titus said you looked pretty high. Oh yeah, I did one of his lines just to clear my head. Good thinking. Clear your head. You should clear your head. Get into his mindset. Did you hear or see the shooter in the course of this? No. What did you do then? Nothing. I was trapped. I was stuck in my room. Downstairs, I got some clothes on, crawled back up, drew the blinds. Blood was coming from his mouth, not a lot, just a little. He was still on the floor, slouched. I couldn't be there with him anymore. So I ran down, out of my room, into the hallway, down the stairs. I knew that there would be people there. And next? Sylvie was tending the bar. A lot of people were there. The Hardys were at the table in front of the stage. I think the union box was full. Ruby was there too. They were having such a good time. I sat down and they all welcomed me. I didn't even have to say anything. Ruby knew something was wrong. Ruby? Who's that? Oh, the leader. Of what? The Hardy Boys, she says, as if self-evident. I thought Hardy was the leader of the Hardy Boys. Nominally, yes. Rudy's the one they go to when things happen. Like things they need taken care of. She's the organizer. This Ruby, in her phrasing, is entrusted with great power. She trusts her. So do the others. Go on, what then? Well, Ruby said let's talk upstairs. I showed her the room. I've known these people since December. They know my situation. That I can't leave a paper trail. Ruby was the first one I told. She said she'd have it taken care of. It's what she does, you know? Take care of things. I helped her get the body to the bathroom. We used a belt to pull him up over the shower to keep him upright. To produce lividity matching a hanging? Yes. We completely missed the tampering. Looks like you got there in time. What was this, 20 minutes after death? Whoops. About 20, yes. Ruby explained it would make the blood, you know, what it does. She looks in the ground, then raises her light brown eyes to meet yours. Then what? Ruby went outside to talk to Titus and the boys. I was just looking at Laylee in the bathroom. He had to put his clothes back on, his armor too. It was tough, but I've seen him take it off and put it on many times. It took Ruby's maybe half an hour to come back with Titus. I'd gotten him ready by then. They carried him out. I knew what they were going to do, make it look like a hanging. Ruby said they would. What'd you do while they were hanging him? Ruby said they'll wait here. She also said I wouldn't see her for a while, that we should lay low or something, so I did. So where is she now? I don't know. I haven't seen her since. Maybe we'll need to take this question to the Hardy boys. When it happened, did you hear a gunshot? When he was shot? I may have. I don't know, I couldn't hear anything over the glass exploding. Could the people after you have killed him? That's the first thing I thought. And? I thought they finally found me. They killed him to punish me. All last week I've tried not to talk to anyone or be seen with anyone. So they wouldn't be hurt. I've come to understand, however, this is paranoia. What happened didn't have anything to do with me. Either way, something to consider. We can't go after Luke Sapp, not yet. There are other saner leads. Why'd you call the cops if you're hiding? Because I'm an idiot. I don't think so. Why'd you do it? You have to understand, the people around here, no one was making the call. And he kept rotting. And then they picked his clothes off. And that little fucker threw stones at him. He kept throwing them at him for 3 days. I could hear the thunk, thud. So I called you. I hope with all my heart it's not the last thing I do in Ravishall. She definitely called the cops. That was task complete. It could not have been a lie. Impossible. When was the window changed? Last week. Angus and Titus's brother. I think he's called Tibbs. Took care of it. She takes a drag. Should have another look at that window after this. Reconstruct the scene. It is right there. In her bedroom inside. Yeah, you can see the glass sparkling at the corner of your eye. I think we're done here. For now. She nods silently. She doesn't even smoke. Just picks up the cold coffee and holds it in her hands. The lieutenant glances at you, then at the door. He's thinking, are we done here? Or maybe you should take her to the station. For safekeeping, she lied to you and she's a flight risk. No, that won't be necessary. Just leave her alone. She's been through enough. She doesn't need this police brutality. Multi-face, I'm begging. I'm beginning to doubt your judgment. Are you sure you're not sleeping on the post? You have to wake this one up with force if you want to continue pushing her. Drama 3, low. The love that did him in. 17%. I can't look at that yet. In God's name, awaken. Damn it. But we are awake, sir. She's been forthcoming with sordid details women usually conceal, most shocking details of the sexual kind. We are a bulwark, unbreached. Get a hold of yourself just once. Will you try and look past the sexuality like some mortals and do some police work? So you say, but give us one example of deceit, just one. Just a preposition. Could the lurid explicitness conceal something less sensational but more illegal? Who is this personhood picking these insidious options? Can't you see the detective grows weary of your malcontent? Stop staring at her eyes and say something pertinent to the case. This is making you look like an amateur. Looks like this one's not waking up. You have to do it without pushing her further. At least for now. can't try it again. Why can't I try it again? I put another point in volition. Which is really high now, by the way.
Apricot chewing gum scented one. August 2nd, early late summer. You're getting off the streetcar in Le Jardin, east of the river. Her father and mother are middle class. The nylon of her little jacket rustles next to you, in the dark, like autumn leaves. Her heels click on the pavement. You're walking up to the gate in front of her parents' house. She takes out her chewing gum and you kiss her. A feeling like electricity flows through your whole body. Immediately, you know that you've entered a completely different world.
+2 to perception, betrayal lingers everywhere. As you look back, you think so love did do him in at all. After all, I was right. If it weren't for her, he would not have been there. The shot would not have connected with his soft palate. Looks like love did him in after all. She's silent, holding onto her coffee mug. No vapor rises from it. It's cold. Remember, the silence. The lady is dangerous. People suffer around her. Let her answer. Yeah. I'd like to think he didn't love me. Or that it was chemically induced and not real. Why? Easier that way. Was it, though? I don't know. She looks down at the yard, then back to her coffee.
I was just thinking, what a nice day for questions. Her take.
Fuck! Why can I not win a coin flip? It's insane. Why is access menu something you can only do from the fucking world map? Visual calculus. Logic. Fuck it. Better. The golden light melts away into the blue, glossy darkness of your mind, and there are two neon-lit shapes, a man and a woman on a single bed. What position? Like the witness said, the man's kneeling, woman's on her back. Night of March 4, a shot has just been fired. The man looks directly at her. The shot's possible directions converge in his mouth, a ray cast from somewhere outside entering his brain. Ending him. Where does it come from? From the roof outside. A location, prime. The glass fractures around the bullet hole. Shards face inward like a corona behind the woman's back. Inspect the figures. The man does not know the bullet has entered his brain. He never will. Death comes faster than realization. Have a look at point A, the roof. The ray cast from the man's mouth unravels into a fan of possible directions. On the roof at first. The shot could have come from any of them. This is composite location. Prime. Most likely of the origin points. Shouldn't there be gun residue outside? There could have been. Then rain and slush and wind. It was more than a week ago. So what, 80% sure that the roof is where it was shot from? 72. With a weapon that's good for medium range, like a pistol or sports rifle, this is a good short distance. Not too short. Perpetrator aimed with their back against the railing, possibly kneeling. That would explain why it only took them one shot. The lights were on in here, outside it was dark. It was like shooting fish in an aquarium, a well-lit one. The victim opened his mouth to let the bullet in. Neither of them would have seen anything outside in the darkness, too busy with their own bodies. Any arguments against A Prime, the roof? None that you've found thus far, but that doesn't mean there aren't any. And what about insight closer? Point X would contradict the entire proposition void. His figures would be wiped out. So what about farther away? 28% yes. In this model, the shot could have come from a greater distance. Nothing excludes its possibility. Should we extrapolate to include every possible point of origin of Martinez? Yes. All of it. You would need a map for that. Where do I get a map of Martinez? The bookstore. They have maps. You're thinking if the shot didn't come from the roof, right? Yep. Good. We should come back with the map and compare the landscape to the radius of the shot. Blink. But is the bookstore annoyingly closed? Right as I need to utilize it. I'm betting probably. It is 7:30 after all. No. Okay.
You broke down?
Yeah.
I suppose it's just a
Fuck
door.
you
I
and
thought
your
you had
curse. You're screwed forever. But like, I don't care.
Of course you did. All right. But before we go on, tell me, did you encounter the malignant entity?
There's someone that lives there, if that's what you're wondering.
You did? Then it has to be true. I've suspected that this woman-shaped energy must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Did you see that she lives inside the chimney?
Heard some voices.
Yes, I've heard that. It's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains upstairs. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. And do return to me after you've talked to it. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse.
If you're really interested in cracking this mystery, then we should go back to the furnace. Maybe you could yell into it or something. Make some noise. You'll think of something, you always do.
I need a map. Got a map. Board games. Amdel. Crime novels. Biographies. Several maps. Steel. Angry storekeeper. Look at the map of Martinez. It's not really a map, it's a tourist thing. Picture postcard of buildings, drawn from an isometric perspective. Just fucking toss it at her. Play nice. Paranormal books. Something down there. Musty smell of potato cellar and spring emanates from the air vent. Weird. But okay, I guess. Map. According to your map of the district, the shot could have come from a wide angle of location, starting with the northern edge of the abandoned boardwalk, ending with an islet in the bay. Let's call them B prime, more precisely. B for boardwalk, B for Land's End, and B for the islet. There may be smaller points, but those are too fine to zoom in. Boardwalk. 700 meters away, likeliest of these B positions, 20% chance skilled sniper could have made the shot, provided he had a safe sniper's nest. Even with the light on the inside, we're talking military training. At that distance, the perpetrator could have had to take a wind direction into account. Land's End. 1.2 kilometers away. Least likely these, let's say, at 3%. A truly skilled sniper could have done it. Possible from a tent. No, too far-fetched. But camping in is valid strategy. 1 kilometer away, unlikely point of origin. On an islet. There are islets there, badly charted I say maybe. That would have been a small miracle, 5% likelihood there is an extremely narrow field of view from the bay to the window, between Rue de Saint-Germain, 10 and 33A. The angle would have been extreme and access to the islets is questionable. You think the shot could have come from farther than the roof, Martinez? From where precisely? Let's say B prime, B double prime, and B triple prime. Those are awful names for things. I see you have given this a lot of thought. Are those the locations you've signaled out, in addition to the roof? And what is the likelihood of your opinion that it came from a further distance? It's... okay. Much less than the roof, but still. Well, we should see if there is gunshot residue or sniper nests if we go down the coast. Roll these spots out one by one. It'll be a diligent thing to do. Until then, personally, going with the roof version fits with the hidden path through the whirling. A simple hypothesis. Of course, you can interact with the map. Trace a path through the grid. Yay, you have a journal to look at things. Wait, stop. That man bloated beyond all recognition was 42. That's what she said. Below, the damage, the week's decomposition, all the swollen indignity of mortality was 42. Where's this going? How old are you? That's where this is going. 45,000 liters of raw alcohol has left its disfigurement. Lies beneath. You ask either of them. Tim, how old do you think I am? Huh? Not quite sure I heard you. How old do I look? How old? 48. You're probably right. Actually, make that 54. Alcoholism has severely impacted your appearance. And I was wrong about the age of the deceased. This requires scientific measurements. Bring it on! To the laboratorium. Think I'm gonna spin things on your thought? You're wrong. That's insane.
I was just thinking, what a nice day for questions.
It's snowing, and like 7:30. And we're nowhere near level up. So I can't even talk to her if I wanted to. So I guess let's return to Hardy. Because... I don't know. And once it hits 2100, then we go and deal with whatever's going on upstairs at that one room. Hey. This doesn't stop, does it?